It's delicious.
That's definitely the one.
Have you ever thought about how to make a better burger at home? I know I sure have. Join us on the journey where we figure out the perfect amount of fat to incorporate into our burgers, that special cut of beef to figure out the grind for our burger, that special sear that just gets that Maillard reaction super perfect, flavor, seasoning, and technique, all the way down to our gold medalist winner. You guys are gonna love this 5-episode series. Let's go. All right, y'all, we just got done taste testing these 3 pretty darn delicious burgers, especially for just salt and pepper. Not bad. The results, definitely not what I expected. Cordell, what's your thoughts?
I had an idea of what it was going to be like, but this is actually eye-opening to a different stage of thing.
Yeah, hands down. All right, y'all, today's episode is all about fat ratio. Fun fact, if you Google the best amount of fat to have in a burger, you get all kinds of answers. Some people prefer lean at 90-10, some people prefer to go all out at 70-30, and then some people land right in the middle around an 85-15 to an 80-20. Today, we're all about juiciness and flavor. We're gonna try 3 different amounts of fat to figure out exactly what fat ratio we want our grind in episode 2 to be. I'm gonna get everything prepped up and ready to roll. Let's go. All right, you guys, I got everything prepped up and ready to roll. For today's test, what we're going to do is make a 4-ounce patty of each amount of fat. So we're gonna make a 4-ounce patty of our 73-27, our 85-15, and our 90-10. We will keep track of which one is which all the way onto the grill and off the grill. Once we get them grilled, we're not going to do anything special. So just salt, pepper, no cheese, no toppings, nothing like that. And at the end of this video, we're going to taste test and see exactly what fat ratio is our preferred choice. I would imagine, since we're going for flavor and we're going for juiciness, the more fat, the better. However, until we try it, we don't know. All right, I'm going to get the first patty made of 27% fat, 4 ounces. All right, just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the 85-15 ready to roll and the 90-10, and we'll be right back. All right, y'all, and just like that, we got our high fat, our mid fat, and our low fat patties ready to be seasoned. We are gonna season with just salt and pepper, and we are gonna measure the amount of seasoning so that way we know it is not a factor into our final taste test, and that it is just the high fat, mid fat, and low fat that we are assessing. Once we have them seasoned, we're gonna toss them on our Ninja Sizzle and get them to a beautiful golden brown. After that, it's time to plate, time to taste test. Check it out. All right, you guys, we are ready to taste test. Now, you might notice that we did not pay attention to the bun. That is going to be a later video when we figure out what we want to do there, especially as far as the technique is concerned with grilling the bun, buttering the bun, all that kind of stuff. One thing I do notice right out the gate is the higher fat content shrunk more than the lower fat content, which would make sense. So as far as technique's concerned, in episode 4, if we do go with a higher fat content, we do need to take that into consideration, knowing that it'll shrink up more, so that way it properly fits our bun. All right, Cordell, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's start with the low fat first. Okay. Good.
Pretty decent.
Not bad. All right, let's assess on flavor and juiciness. Scale from 1 to 10. Cordell, where are you at with flavor?
6.
Sure. I'm at a 7. Keep in mind, it is just salt and pepper, so no, we didn't really do a whole lot towards flavor. But with just salt and pepper, yeah, 6 to 7. Juiciness.
It had a bit more. I would rate that a little bit higher, 7, 8.
Okay. I'm also at a 7 for juiciness, so right around the same. All right. Cool. Should we try the 85-15?
Maybe.
All right, let's try it. Hey. Okay. That one kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Let's start with juiciness. Scale from 1 to 10, Cordell.
It got slightly better. I want to say 8.
Yeah. And I would give it like a 7.5. Like, it wasn't a whole lot like night and day difference. A little bit better. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah. Flavor. Scale from 1 to 10.
This one shocked me.
Yeah, right?
This is the one that went up.
Yeah.
Definitely went up. I'd give it another 8.
Yeah. I'm at an 8 to 8.5. Definitely more flavor, better flavor, and more pronounced. I was pleasantly surprised.
I was too, to be honest.
Yep, I was surprised. All right, last but not least, the high fat. Cordell, you ready?
I'm really ready for this one.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
That's definitely the one.
Yeah, hands down. Interestingly enough, though, for juiciness, I didn't really detect like this drastic difference that I thought I would from the low fat to the high fat. What's your thoughts?
I can tell slightly, but not the biggest jump.
Yeah, not like this drastic leap that I thought we'd be going from when switching from a 90% beef to a 70%.
Yeah.
Well, 73. So, flavor though. Flavor's where it's at. Yeah, hands down. Scale from 1 to 10 on juiciness for the high fat. Where are you at?
Still right around that 8.
Yep, I would agree. I'm right around that 8 as well. I would say for me overall, for the juiciness, 7, 7.5, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a huge difference by any means. Flavor.
This one, it could use extra seasoning and extra amount of everything on top of it, but when it's just standalone, I'd give it a 9.
Yeah. I'm right there with you too, at a 9 as well. Out of the 3, I would say 7, 8, 9.
Yep.
Yep, hands down. All right, y'all, we got our fat ratio figured out. Be sure to check out episode 2, where it's all about the grind. Now that we know how much fat we want to incorporate into our grind, we're going to test up against each other a store-made burger patty, a store-ground handmade burger patty, as well as a in-house blend of select beef. So brisket, short rib, and chuck for a super fine grind versus a coarse grind to see what the 4 burgers turn out to be like. Ooh, buddy, I'm ready for that one. Cordell, what's your thought?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. Make sure you guys check out episode 2. Till next time, ciao. That's great.
That is great.
Yeah. Wow. I am, that one, I can still taste it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm. It makes you want to go back for more.
Yep, salt and pepper. Who knew?